Ladies and gentlemen, I am taking a new direction in the channel where I'm officially starting a career in foreseeing the future. Yes, it is true. I am a psychic. You are welcome. And I have another reading coming in today. Everyone, put your fingers on your head. Send me your signals. Oh, I see dollar signs. Dark side. KOTOR. It's gonna be the next pay event for Knights of the Old Republic. I'm just guessing right there, but there was a little bit of predictions going on in December. If you guys remember, I made a video talking about the monthly login reward, which was Slave 1, and that came true. And then we had a bunch of other things regarding territory war bonuses, and those are also coming true as well. There's a bunch of other stuff in this most recent update that was confirmed from the datamined and some other stuff, such as a C-3PO buff and a bunch of important stuff you guys need to start farming right now. So without further ado, let's get into this and talk about what we need to start looking for. Now, firstly, we got the territory war bonuses. As you guys know, there was a big controversy going on about banning characters from territory wars. It kind of mixed things up, a lot of divisiveness. Even look at this poll I pulled out. You can see how angry the people are and what they really want. But what we see here at this next territory war bonuses is the stuff that people actually want to see, and that is adding special bonuses to make old useless factions really good. Now, we talked about this before because this was tossed in a data mine from mid-December, and it's all coming true in this post that we see right here. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. Leave a card in the top right if you want to go check out the video. But basically, Imperial Troopers, the Clone Troopers, the Ewoks, the Jawas, and First Order, every single one of those factions were mentioned in the data mine before, are going to get some pretty big buffs for this next territory wars. For example, people said there's no way this data mine can be true because having a cooldown of 0 on all abilities would be broken because Tebow would go into an endless loop and probably 1 or 2 Ewoks can take out full teams on their own. Nope, that data mine was true. Ewoks are going to be crazy off the rockers, and for all of us who invested heavily in Ewoks against C-3PO, we're going to have another reason to use them in this next territory wars, and they might be a top competing faction. And I kind of want to point out a few more things. I don't want to read off all these abilities, but there's a couple more things I want to point out. Now, with that data mine for First Order getting bonuses, full-blown assault, they're getting a bonus. They're going to get a bunch of health and protection regeneration. But the thing that's interesting is that they're also going to inflict target lock on an enemy for 2 turns, and again, that made the data mine seem like it might not be real, but it is real. We're seeing it right here. Why are they giving First Order target lock? Again, target lock only works if some droid's unique is triggering some special effect. Right now, excluding ships is its own different target lock. For arena purposes and PvP character stuff, you need a droid that has some sort of target lock synergy to make target lock mean something. Otherwise, it's just a useless debuff that you're applying. So I don't know if they're going to get target lock something just to First Order, so First Order characters in general could just have target lock and they're going to get it. It doesn't make much sense because target lock's a droid specific thing. But we said this before in a video. Are they maybe releasing BB-9E, the First Order droid, the anti BB-8? Maybe they'll make a Shadowed Destiny ability, Shadowed Fate instead of Illuminated Destiny. I don't know. All I know is that they're putting it in here. It's got to mean something. So maybe we have to sit and wait to see what they might do for the First Order and this target lock. This kind of hints that there's got to be something coming. And yes, Imperial Trooper bonuses, ladies and gentlemen. Imperial Troopers are pretty good for territories, for taking a lot of B-grade teams and lower, and Night Sisters especially. They're going to get Night Sister capabilities that are, in my opinion, a lot better. You get this endless ranks buff, special buff and all that, and it's crazy because it goes up to 10 stacks. But the thing is, when Imperial Trooper is defeated, they're going to take one of those stacks they have. So if they have 10, they get to revive like 10 times with 100% health, 100% protection, and they get to reset all their cooldowns and gain a bonus turn. Imperial Troopers are going to be insane. It literally is trying to mimic how the Empire just sends endless waves of troopers towards the enemy and just overwhelms them. This is exactly what the Imperial Troopers, I mean, maybe it's stretching, they should have something like this besides these bonuses, but still, regardless, Territory Wars is going to be an absolute blast with Imperial Troopers. Really excited for that. Probably the most excited I am is for out of all these is Imperial Troopers. And then Clone Troopers, we talked about this. You're just basically gaining a bunch of bonuses for all these Clone Trooper allies, and you're also going to get a bunch of turn meter and whatnot. So basically, Commander Cody with this buff, he can keep using his mass assist ability over and over and over again. The Jawas, they got their own interesting thing with the shock and all this, and they do a bunch of assists. Overall, this is really exciting. This is the stuff I like to see. The bands, I wasn't really too crazy for. I wasn't too upset. I gave it a shot. It was more like, whatever, I'm not too crazy about it. This is the stuff I would love to brag on about, and I always want something like this every single month, so I'm glad that they're going to bring this to this next Territory Wars. The more important stuff that is more relevant to your day-to-day farming was released in a content update yesterday. So a lot of stuff got jam-packed in an update the other day. We got the Millennium Falcon event. I did the event earlier today. Click on the card in the top right if you want to see me go through it. In my opinion, Millennium Falcon event was definitely probably the easiest legendary I think I've ever experienced in Galaxy of Heroes. Very, very easy. Maybe because the ships are a bit harder to farm, they made it a bit easier. Don't quite know, and it was definitely not the most overwhelming or the most exciting event. So hopefully we have some more cool stuff coming out throughout the year. But it's an important ship. If you get the 5 stars, pat yourself on the back. That is more than fine for now. Now the cool stuff. 2 big things that we got to talk about, pretty much actually 3 big things. First of all, Gear 12 salvage. Now this is huge. Basically, with this most recent update, the shard shop, you will now be able to get other things besides those lovely General Grievous shards that everyone loves to farm. You can get gear already, as we know. Now they're adding mod pieces, the important stuff to get 6 dot mods, and they're also adding stuff for Gear 12. So this is huge. So I'm gonna hop over to the shard store right now. Now, I'm a huge advocate for the shard store. I was actually a bigger advocate when you're able to farm pay-to-play characters here. This is how I got Nihilus to 7 stars, Baze to 7 stars, and a bunch of other important characters I got through the shard store. They stopped doing that. They probably didn't like that people were getting stuff for free pretty easily from the shard store, but this is really good. I mean, I'm gonna burn through shard shop currency really fast. Every day I'm always buying stun cuffs, stun guns, carbantes. That's why I always have so much of those pieces stocked up. But now you get all this stuff. Let me grab some currency so I can purchase the stuff that I think that's going to be really helpful. So this shard store is really much for people who already have all these characters and all these other stores of 7 stars, and they have stockpiles of currency. Basically, I use all my currency in all the stores. Look, I had like 30,000 in Arena, and then over here I have 26,000. Galactic War, you're always getting 1,200 a day for each Galactic War you clear, and I can redeem. It's really easy to keep up with the shard store because I have all the characters of 7 stars in all those free-to-play places. So I'm gonna buy some of that. That's some Gear 12 stuff. Really important. This is probably the biggest thing because really there hasn't been a way to farm mod salvage except for Grand Arena and actually farm them from the guild store. And I said in a previous video, I don't like wasting my guild currency for these pieces. I'd rather get more golden eyeballs, for example, or more carbantes. Look, this is why I have so much. I use the guild store to farm all the stuff, but man, let's grab some of that. I can use some of those, and I mean, we got some Mark V thermal detonators. This is a great update because now we can access things that are that are normally difficult to get. So this is a really good addition. Makes me wonder if Gear 13's around the corner, because usually once they start easing up on the gear crunch that we had before, they're going to slowly introduce the next big thing, and Gear 13 might be that next thing, which I hope is not the case, but it's inevitable. That's how the game makes money. That's how the game lives on. You got to keep pushing that wall or the barrier so people keep playing this game going into the future, and of course paying for the game going into the future. The next important thing is C-3PO is getting a buff, sort of, more for in AI purposes, because right now in defense or when you put it on auto for the raids and whatnot, C-3PO isn't the smartest when he uses oh my goodness, because when he uses oh my goodness, he can call someone to assist and give them translation. Well, oftentimes he keeps calling someone that already has maxed out translation buffs, and there's no reason to keep on calling them, and then you might have someone that doesn't have translation and they're being excluded from the party. So C-3PO is trying to make sure everyone's having fun in the party. So in terms of AI and auto and on defense in Arena, this makes C-3PO a lot better and a lot smarter. His goal is to keep making sure that people across the board have translation. So now he's going to prefer targets that do not currently have translation. Then if everyone has translation, he just picks someone at random. So a big buff right there for defensive and AI purposes is something you need to know about, because you might notice on defense C-3PO got better. Well, this is probably going to be the reason why. And the last thing, probably the most important thing in this video, this right here, shard shuffling. Guys, this is when you might want to start hit the ground running. I mean, I know people are panic farming the Millennium Falcon. I don't think that's the best thing to really do, because I think February we should expect something big because these two guys right here, Candace Ordo, Bastila and Sean Fallen, are now free to play farmable. Candace is pretty accessible, 5C, so that's a pretty good, easy node to get Candace Ordo. So he should be pretty quick. He's kind of like how T3 was easy to farm on Cantina. Candace Ordo will be that person as well. And then we have Bastila Sean Fallen. This is going to be the grind, kind of like light side Bastila. This is going to be, it's going to be tough for some people to farm this fast enough in a month. She's going to be on dark side battles 7A. Wish they would add more light side battles for these more recent characters they're releasing out. And then Anakin Starfighter, which is really random. They just said, oh, here's Anakin Starfighter. There wasn't really any purpose in, but it's still a good ship. Highly recommend you get it. It's on Fleet Battles 1B. So that right there is something you should maybe look into, because I have a great feeling that this year there's going to be a huge emphasis on the Clone Wars because of how the TV show is rolling out later on this year for the Clone Wars era. Really looking forward to that. So, but overall, guys, these two guys are going to be the most important. Candace Ordo and Bastila Sean Fallen. So we predicted this before. They're kind of doing the same thing like they did for Jedi Knight Revan. They're going to release a character like Bastila, and that's going to help us, this faction. In this case, it was Sith. And then they're going to release a bunch of other KOTOR characters, which you have Candace Ordo, then Karth and then Juhani. If they're going to follow the same suit as before, they're probably shooting for some sort of KOTOR dark side event, whether it's Malak or Darth Revan. I think they might go for Malak before Revan to kind of stretch out this whole thing. I mean, they might go straight for Darth Revan, who knows? But these characters, Bastila Sean, Candace Ordo, and then Juhani and Karth, you want to keep those on your radar. And I know people have been saving crystals since Revan in preparation of Darth Revan. And if you are those people who saved crystals, this is probably when you want to start using your crystals to refresh your energy attempts to farm characters like Darkside Bastila, because we know how this works. They're going to take these characters and make sure that they're used for some big paywall event. Jedi Knight Revan, it was pretty much a paywall character. I know some people saved like 30,000 crystals and were able to get it, but by and large, whatever's coming, if it's Darkside KOTOR Legendary or Hero's Journey or whatever the case may be next month, it's going to be an important character. So keep these characters on your radar. I want to make sure you guys are aware that these guys are free to play now, and that means hit the ground running if you want to try to get whatever's going to be big, which I think it's coming next month. Something's coming in February. February is that Darkside KOTOR month that they like to do. I think they're going to try to keep up with that next month sometime. So keep these characters on the radar. Start farming them. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are down below. Is something coming in February? That's the big question. Is BB-9E coming because of the target lock things? I don't know. A lot of questions. Comment down below so we can all have a nice chat about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already so you're not missing a thing. And until the next video, rework Grievous, rework Grievous. CG, get your act together and rework Grievous, rework Grievous, rework Grievous. Come on, CG, don't make me pray to Jesus.